Preface of The Life of St. Columba, Apostle of Scotland. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Marianne Spiegel. The Life of St. Columba, Apostle of Scotland, by Frances Alice Forbes. Author's Preface. Though more than 1,300 years have gone by since the death of St. Columba, there are few saints whose memory is so living and so strong. This is partly due to his vivid and attractive personality, but in a great measure also to the fact that we have his biography or life written at great length by Adonam, 9th abbot of Iona, who was born only 27 years after Columba's death. Adamnan, who was very young when he entered the community at Iona, could have gathered the materials for his book from the lips of those who had personally known the great apostle of Scotland, and who had been eye-witnesses of the events recorded. We know that these friends were many and drawn from all classes, for Columba, above all men of his time, had the gift of being loved, and many instances are related of the passionate devotion of the monks of Iona to their great abbot, no less than that of the multitudes with whom in his long and busy life he had come in contact. Adamnan is considered to be a sober and trustworthy author, and has not exaggerated, as many of the later writers undoubtedly have, the miraculous element in the life of the saint. Carlyle, who cannot be considered as an advocate of the supernatural, remarks of the life of St. Columba, "You can see that the man who wrote it could tell no lie. What he meant you always cannot find out, but it is clear that he told things as they appeared to him." There are many interesting relics of Columba still in existence. An ancient stone chalice which he is said to have used at Mass is still preserved in Ireland, together with the flagstones which formed the flooring of Eithne's room the night that he was born. A pathetic custom exists amongst the poor Irish emigrants of sleeping the night before they leave their country on this stone, in the hope that he who made himself an exile from his country for the love of God will by his prayers make the burden of their sorrow easier to bear. The stone which he used for so many years as a pillow is still to be seen amongst the ruins of the Cathedral of Iona, which was erected in the 12th century, near the site of the old abbey church of Columba's building, while the ruins of St. Oran's chapel near at hand enclose the very spot where the saint breathed his last upon the altar steps. But perhaps the most interesting of all the Columban relics are the 3 manuscripts which are said to have been written by the saint's own hand. That Columba was an indefatigable scribe we know from the witness of many of his contemporaries, and one of the greatest of modern authorities, Mr. Westwood, sees no reason for setting aside the tradition that the Book of Kells and the Book of Durrow are both mainly, if not altogether, Columba's work. The Book of Durrow, indeed, bears an inscription stating that it was written by Columba the scribe in the space of 12 days, while the Book of Kells has always borne the title of the Great Gospel of Columba. To the objection that a busy man like Columba would not have had leisure to execute the exquisitely minute decorations which are the astonishment of all admirers of Celtic art, it can be urged that many old manuscripts which still exist in an unfinished condition bear witness to the fact that it was customary for the initial letters and ornamental parts of the manuscript to be sketched roughly in and finished by another hand. This is especially to be noted in the Book of Kells, the decorative work of which is certainly of a later date. Both the Book of Durrow and the Book of Kells are to be seen in the library of Trinity College, Dublin. The 3rd manuscript, the famous Psalter, which gave Columba to Scotland, and which is preserved in the Royal Irish Academy, fell, after the battle of Cuil Dramnea, into the hands of the O'Donnells, Columba's own clan, who treasured it as their most precious possession. It was called the Cathach or Battler, and if borne into battle by one of pure heart and of clean hands, was believed to ensure them victory over their enemies. It is the least ornamental of the 3, and bears traces of the haste with which it was executed. The existence of these pages, written with laborious care by the hand which has long since mouldered into dust, makes a living link across the centuries with Columba the Beloved, the great apostle of Scotland. End of preface.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?